Hi, I'm B-Town, and I make videos about games I love, and the Black Ops 6 beta. It's gonna be a rough year, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot to talk about, so let's jump right in. In classic Treyarch fashion, the beta has a bunch of technical issues. Historically, all of the Black Ops betas have had issues, but this one's particularly bad. BO6 has frame rate issues, crashing, lagging. Buyer beware, it kind of ruins the experience. It's fair to give them the benefit of the doubt that most of this stuff will be fixed when the game actually fully releases, but the first impression here is really bad. The servers and networking are particularly awful. There is a ton of lag and packet burst happening pretty much in every game. Some people are speculating it's because of the mandatory texture streaming, which I think is ridiculous because look at these textures. At time of recording, we have 4 maps. Scud, which is absolute trash. Derelict.
I guess you can derelict my balls, Capitan.
The first couple of times you play Derelict, it seems pretty fun, but then you realize that it's nothing but choke points and power positions. It's like one day into the beta and there's already really nasty spawn locks going on that map. Tons of kill streak spam. If your team doesn't know how to play Derelict, you are going to be in some serious trouble. Rewind. This one was just added. It's a pretty average map that's elevated by having a cool 90s video store as the central hub. I'm biased because I used to love going to the video store as a kid, but this one gets an A+ from me. And lastly, we have Skyline. I really love this map. It's beautiful and symmetrical. I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes kind of the Nuketown of BO6 with a 24/7 playlist around launch. It's way too early to truly dissect the weapon balance in this game, but in the beta there's really no weapon balance at all. I do not think it's a coincidence that the most OP gun in the game also has a fancy pre-order skin. That's not a mistake, and it's not even a Treyarch issue. In recent years, the devs have been releasing totally broken weapons to try to incentivize people to make purchases from the shop. Eventually, after they've made enough cash, they nerf them. I absolutely despise this tactic because it erodes the integrity of the game. It's honestly unethical, and we have the same shenanigans going on right now in the Black Ops 6 beta. If you take the Jackal out of the equation, the game seems reasonably balanced. My only bit of advice would be not to sleep on the XM4. It's really, really good. Omni movement is the big new selling point for Black Ops 6. Fans are super stoked, and there's clips of people all over the place like hitting wild shots, like diving off of stuff and getting no scopes. It's incredible. I've been enjoying it so far. I think there's a lot to learn and master. There's a fair amount of nuance in Omni movement, and you got to kind of get adjusted to it if you've been a longtime player of Call of Duty. But the fun potential is kind of off the charts. You can just like Tony Hawk style on fools, and like I'm totally here for it. Hardcore players love it because it's a skill gap. You get really good at Omni movement, you'll be able to differentiate yourself from other players. That's awesome. I like it in principle, and I think it's implemented well. I just think it's a little bit clunky. There are new animations that have been inserted in different parts of the movement system. They just kind of break my brain a little bit. There's also kind of a glidey quality to it where it feels like the game's kind of playing itself and your inputs don't really matter at a certain point. That's just my initial impression, and I'm sure a lot of that's just like a skill issue. I just got to play with it more and, you know, really refine and master the system. But Omni movement is a generally positive thing, and it makes the game feel dramatically different than the last couple Call of Duty, so I'm really excited about it. And I'm also just going to toss the human shield into this section as well. It's not super impactful, but it is an awesome new humiliation mechanic. I'm really enjoying it. It's goofy as shit. I usually play without voice chat because people make fun of my voice being an old man and shit, and I would get into arguments with little fucking teenagers on the internet. But I might actually turn it on just so I could talk to my meat shields. To coincide with the Omni movement system, Treyarch has made a pretty significant nerf to aim assist. I think this is fantastic. It's the absolute perfect time to do it as well. Your aim assist goes crazy when people are sliding and diving around the screen. This game would be unplayable if it had that snappy Modern Warfare 3, you're always on target aim assist. These adjustments probably don't do too much in regards to the controller versus mouse and keyboard conversation, but it does get those inputs just a little bit closer and a little bit more of an even playing field. Although I think it's a huge positive, I do think it's going to cause issues for general Call of Duty players. People have gotten accustomed accustomed to that incredibly sticky, super fucking thick aim assist, and it's going to be problematic to get them to back off and kind of learn how to aim. But this is a necessary update for the overall health of the franchise. This is the first week of the beta, and it's open to people who have pre-ordered the game and Game Pass members. As you would expect, it is super fucking sweaty out there. Every match is like a CDL final. Skill-based matchmaking is already heavily impacting the game, and it just feels bad, man. It just feels bad. When you couple skill-based matchmaking, people bouncing around all over the place, and the bad connections, this game is an absolute shit show. And of course, disbanding lobbies are back, so SBMM is going to be cranked up all the way. The way the lobby system is handled in Call of Duty makes this game truly unfun. Every other beta in the history of Call of Duty, I mean all the way back, I played the COD 4 beta, you know what I'm saying? And every one of those, I played until they turned the servers off. This one, not so much. I'm already done. It's Saturday morning, my time, and I don't want to play anymore. And that is 100% because of the matchmaking in this game. It's disgusting. TTK and the general gunplay, even when you take the overpowered Jackal out of the equation, is actually in a really bad spot right now. Once again, a classic Treyarch problem. It happens with every single one of their games. You dump 5-6 shots into an enemy, you get nothing but hit markers, and yet you seem to die in 2 bullets. This has happened with every Black Ops game, so I'm confident the team are going to be able to kind of tune it and get it under control, but the beta is really rough. The TTK is very, very, very frustrating. I really enjoy a fast, aggressive Call of Duty, but when the TTK is this wildly inconsistent, it just drives you crazy. One thing that's super off about the game is the health regen. It is so incredibly slow. You have all this new movement tech, you have all these ways to get aggressive and make plays, but then your health regens at an anemic rate. You have to use stims or enforcer. They are pretty much mandatory. It feels like a design side effect where because you have multiple ways to increase your health regen, the base stats are just entirely too slow. It just slows down the game. It's not a great mechanic. And I think it's also adding to the inconsistent feeling of the game. Sometimes you take damage, you're not necessarily aware of it, you're not looking directly at your health bar at all times. You wait a couple seconds and then re-engage, and then you get melted and you don't realize, oh, wait a minute, none of my health regen. That system is currently in a really awkward place. Like I said in the beginning, I would encourage you to use stims or enforcer to bypass this altogether. I hate to say it, but the Black Ops 6 beta is not great. In many ways, it's a huge step backward. We're dealing with the annoying issues from old CODs like fluctuating time to kill, god-awful spawns. And on the other side, we have Treyarch, who are making a big effort to mix up the formula and give us a fresh experience this year. I want this game to be good, and I'm cautiously optimistic, but it feels really sloppy at the moment. It's important to give your feedback, even though I don't think anything's going to be adjusted for week 2 of the beta. That build's already been set in stone for quite a long time now. But if we point out the things that aren't working, maybe we can make the retail release a lot better. Honestly, the biggest thing this beta's done for me is make me want to play Black Ops 6 Zombies. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just a zombies year. Maybe I'm just going to not play a lot of multiplayer. I don't know. But that's also off to a less than exciting start with Liberty Balls. Wow. Ugh. But remember, no matter how this year turns out, we always have each other as a community. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you around next time. I'll talk to you again really, really, really soon.